letting go. Huh, it's tough. It can really leave you reeling.
Yeah, feeling lost, like you're adrift.
Exactly. And today we're diving into something that might help us navigate those choppy waters. We're looking at Lestallion's 50 journal prompts for letting go of someone.
Journaling, huh? It's
It's
like
more than just, Dear Diary. This is about structured reflection.
I can see that
Yeah,
right away, just the way it's organized.
yeah. 5 categories: reflecting on the relationship, then processing emotions.
Okay. Makes sense. You need to do both.
And then there's finding closure, building new beginnings, and self-discovery.
So it's like, okay, you dealt with the past, now what?
Exactly.
A roadmap. And a smart one, too. Psychologically, it makes sense to tackle those stages in order.
Like each category requires different tools, different ways of thinking.
Right. You can't just jump to new beginnings without, processing the hurt first.
Okay, so let's get specific. In that first category, reflecting on the relationship, there's this prompt that really got me thinking. Write about a time you felt truly supported by this person. What did that moment teach you?
Starting with the positive. Huh.
It seemed counterintuitive to me at first. Like, why focus on the good when you're trying to let go?
But even in relationships that, end badly, there are probably good moments, too.
Right.
And
Okay.
revisiting those can be valuable. It helps you gain perspective. It wasn't all bad.
And you can see what you learned, what you gained, even if ultimately it wasn't meant to last.
Exactly. Even a relationship that ends can teach you something about yourself, about what you value.
Okay, so it's not about pretending the hurt didn't exist. It's about acknowledging the complexity.
Right.
Speaking of complexity, there's this one from the processing emotions section. What does forgiveness mean to you, and how can you begin to forgive them and yourself?
Whoa, that's a big one.
Right. It's loaded.
Forgiveness is tricky. It's
Yeah.
often the hardest part.
So how do these prompts help us unpack that? How do we even begin?
Well, they start by asking you to define forgiveness for yourself.
Not like some societal definition.
Right. What does it mean to you in this situation?
Make it personal.
Exactly. And then the prompts guide you to consider those baby steps towards forgiveness.
For them, A and D. For ourselves.
It's both. It's powerful because sometimes we're harder on ourselves.
Ugh, so true. We hold on to guilt long after we've forgiven the other person.
And all that resentment, that anger, it takes a toll.
Yeah, I've heard it can even impact your physical health.
Right. So letting go of that anger, it's not just about them, it's about freeing yourself.
So you can move on.
Yeah.
So you can heal. Okay, we've talked about reflecting, processing emotions. What about closure?
Closure. That's the holy grail, isn't it? But the prompts, they frame it differently.
Yeah, they're not about getting closure from the other person. It's more about finding it within yourself.
Right. We get stuck thinking we need something from them, an apology, an explanation.
To validate what happened.
But what if they never give it to you?
You're still stuck.
Exactly. True closure comes from within, from accepting what happened, making peace with it.
Without needing their validation.
Yes. And the prompts help you do that. There's one that says, imagine you're saying goodbye for the last time. What are your final words to this person?
It's like a mental rehearsal for letting go.
A way to express those unspoken feelings, to get it all out, even if it's just on paper.
It's symbolic. You don't even have to say it to them.
Right. It's about that internal shift, taking your power back and choosing to move on.
Okay, so reflection, emotional processing, finding closure, that's a lot. But Lestallion keeps going. There are sections on building new beginnings and self-discovery.
Because letting go isn't just about loss, it's about what comes next.
Exactly. Like, okay, you've dealt with the hard stuff, now what?
What excites you? What possibilities are opening up?
And I love that there are prompts that address that directly. Like in the building new beginnings section, there's one that asks, reflect on what you're most excited about as you begin this new chapter of your life. It's almost like permission to embrace the future.
To look forward instead of back.
It's about reclaiming your future, writing your own story, choosing to create a life that truly reflects who you are.
And I think that ties into that last category, self-discovery. Because when a relationship ends, it can be a chance to reconnect with yourself on a deeper level.
It really can. It's like, who am I now outside of this relationship?
And the prompts encourage that introspection. There's one that says, write about the parts of yourself you're rediscovering or falling in love with again.
Like parts of yourself you may have lost sight of?
It happens. Sometimes in a relationship, we lose a bit of ourselves.
And letting go can be about finding those pieces again.
Like you're shedding a skin, emerging as a newer, more authentic version of yourself. And the prompts are there to guide you through that process.
It's not just about the words either. It's the way Lestallion frames it, the whole tone.
Yeah, very supportive, encouraging, like a wise friend is walking you through it.
And speaking of wise friends, I noticed the quotes sprinkled throughout the prompts.
Oh, yeah, those are great little nuggets of wisdom.
Like, letting go is not about forgetting, but about finding peace in the memories you keep.
Beautiful, right. It's about reframing the past, not erasing it,
Honoring it, but not letting it define you.
finding that sweet spot between the past and the future.
And I think that's what Lestallion does so well with these prompts. They provide a roadmap for navigating this messy, confusing terrain of letting go.
Breaking it down into manageable steps, each one designed to help you gain clarity, process those feelings, and ultimately move forward.
Okay, so we've covered a lot in this first part of our deep dive. The structure of these prompts, the psychology behind them, and some specific examples, but there's so much more to explore.
Oh, yeah, we've only scratched the surface.
So stay tuned, listener, as we delve even deeper into Lestallion's 50 journal prompts for letting go of someone. We'll be right back to explore how to maximize these prompts, how to go beyond the surface, and really unlock their power.
You know, it's not just about answering the prompt, is it?
No, it's not. It's deeper than that.
It's about sparking a conversation with yourself.
Oh, I like that. Like each prompt is a starting point.
Yeah, a seed. You
Yeah.
plant it, and then what?
You nurture it, you see what grows.
Exactly. And that's where the real magic happens.
So how can our listeners do that? How do they maximize these prompts?
Well, one thing is to challenge those initial reactions.
Like, don't just take the prompt at face value.
Right. Dig deeper. Let's say a prompt asks about a time you felt hurt.
Okay.
Don't just describe the event. Ask why it hurt. What need wasn't being met?
Oh, interesting. Like, was it a need for validation,
Yeah.
security, connection?
Exactly. You start to see the bigger picture, the underlying patterns.
It's about understanding yourself better, your vulnerabilities.
And you can apply that to any of the prompts. Push yourself to go deeper, explore the why.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
Haha, I love that. You get to the heart of the matter.
And that's where the real growth happens.
It's not just venting, it's using those prompts as a springboard for deeper self-discovery.
Okay, so digging deeper. Got it. What else?
Don't be afraid to get creative with the writing itself.
Oh, how so?
Well, instead of always writing paragraphs, try poetry.
Poetry. Whoa, I'm no poet.
It doesn't have to be perfect. Just let the words flow. Let your emotions out.
I could see that being powerful, especially with something as raw as letting go.
Or try writing from a different point of view.
What do you mean?
Like, write a letter to the person you're trying to let go of,
Okay.
but from the perspective of your future self, the one who's already healed.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Like offering yourself the closure you might not get from them.
Exactly. Or you could flip it.
Yeah,
Write a letter from their perspective.
like trying to imagine what they might say to me now.
It can be really insightful, help you understand their actions, maybe even forgive.
Okay, I'm liking this. It's all about using writing as a tool to explore, to heal.
And remember, it's a process. It takes time.
You might need to revisit some prompts multiple times.
As you grow, as you change, your understanding of the situation will change too.
Makes sense. What felt true a month ago might feel different now.
Exactly. And each time you revisit a prompt, you might uncover new insights.
It's like those optical illusions. You see one image, then suddenly it shifts
I love that. It's about keeping your mind open to new possibilities.
to new ways of seeing yourself
Yeah.
and the situation.
And sometimes those aha moments come when we least expect them.
Right, like when you're in the shower or out for a run
It's about trusting the process, being patient with yourself.
and being open to surprises.
Speaking of surprises, one thing that surprised me was the emphasis on letting go of the narrative.
The story we tell ourselves.
Yes. We get so caught up in who was right, who was wrong, what should have happened.
And can be all-consuming.
And it keeps us stuck. It prevents us from moving on,
Those stories can be like prison bars.
trapping us in blame, resentment, regret.
So how do we break free?
Awareness. Notice the stories you're telling yourself. What are the recurring themes?
The underlying beliefs.
Right. Are they serving you or are they holding you back?
It's about questioning those stories, challenging their validity,
And journaling can help with that, give you a safe space to examine them,
to dismantle the ones that aren't helpful,
and then start building new stories, more empowering ones.
ones that reflect our growth, our resilience.
Exactly. And another powerful technique is to shift your focus
From what?
from what you lost to what you gained.
Interesting. Tell me more.
Instead of dwelling on what you miss, Focus on the lessons learned.
What did you learn about yourself? About relationships? About what you really want?
It's about finding the silver lining.
Seeing the opportunity, even in the midst of pain.
Because even though the relationship ended, it wasn't a waste of time.
You grew, you learned, you're better equipped now to create the future you want.
And that's a powerful message for anyone going through a breakup.
It's so easy to get lost in the negative.
But there's always something to be gained.
And the sooner you can shift your focus to those gains, the sooner you can heal.
Exactly. And Lestallion's prompts can help with that.
They guide us to see the lessons, the growth.
To reframe the experience in a more positive light.
It's like permission to let go of the old story and start writing a new one.
A story that reflects your strength, your resilience, your wisdom.
And sometimes the hardest part is letting go of that future.
The future you thought you had with that person.
Oh, that's so true. It's like grieving a dream.
Grieving the plans, the hopes you shared.
It can be devastating. How do we even begin to process that?
First, allow yourself to grieve. Don't push those feelings away.
Honor them.
Acknowledge the pain, the disappointment, maybe even the betrayal.
So it's okay to feel those things.
Because it's essential. And then start to reframe the experience.
Instead of focusing on what's gone, focus on what's here now.
Maybe you have more time for yourself, more freedom to pursue your passions.
Maybe you're clearer now about what you truly want in a partner.
Exactly. It's about choosing to see the opportunity.
And sometimes visualization can help.
Imagine yourself 5 years from now, living a life you love. What does it look like?
Who are you with? What brings you joy?
The more details you can add, the more real it will feel.
And the more likely you are to create it.
It's about taking back control, choosing to create a future that aligns with your values.
Not the ones you had envisioned with that other person.
Exactly. And remember, you can't control what happened in the past.
Or what the other person does.
But you can control your own thoughts, your actions, your choices.
Focus on what you can do to create a future you love.
That's empowering. It reminds you that you're not a victim, you're the author of your own life.
And Lestallion's prompts can guide us on that journey.
They provide the framework, the starting point.
And then it's up to us to take the wheel.
To drive towards that future.
Okay, to wrap up this part of our deep dive, what are some key takeaways?
Well, letting go is a process. It takes time, it's messy.
Be patient with yourself.
And remember, you're not alone. Many people go through this.
Reach out for support if you need it.
And most importantly, remember that you are capable of healing.
You are stronger than you think.
You are worthy of love and happiness.
All right, we're back and ready to get creative.
Ooh, creative.
How so?
We're talking about journaling, but not just the usual way.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are we thinking?
Thinking outside the box. Literally.
All right, I'm with you. So today, it's all about getting creative with journaling.
Love it. Words are powerful, but sometimes you need more, right?
Exactly. So what kind of creative techniques can our listeners experiment with?
Well, one that's really powerful is incorporating visuals.
Visuals? Like what?
Doodles, sketches, even collages.
Ooh, I like that. So if a prompt asks about a happy memory,
You could sketch a little picture of it.
or if it's about future hopes, make a mini vision board right there in your journal.
Exactly. It's like art therapy meets journaling.
Because sometimes words just aren't enough to express everything.
And it makes your journal more fun to look back on, too. All those colors and images.
Totally. And don't forget about different writing styles.
Ooh, yeah. Like what?
Instead of always writing paragraphs, try poetry.
Poetry. I don't know if I'm a poet.
It doesn't have to be perfect. Just let the words flow, let your heart speak.
Raw and emotional, right? Like letting go.
Exactly. Or how about this? Write from a different point of view.
Wait, whose point of view?
Well, imagine writing a letter to the person you're trying to let go of.
Okay.
But you're writing it from the perspective of your future self, the one who's already found peace.
Whoa. That's powerful. It's like giving yourself the closure you might not get from them.
Exactly. Or you could flip it. Write a letter from their perspective.
Like trying to imagine what they would say to me now, knowing what we both know.
It could be really insightful, help you understand their actions, maybe even forgive.
Wow, so many possibilities.
It's all about using writing as a tool to explore, to heal, to grow.
Love that. And sometimes when we're stuck, we need to move our bodies.
Ooh, interesting. What do you mean?
Well, if you're struggling with a prompt or a feeling, get up and move.
Like you go for a walk?
Yeah. Or do some yoga. Notice how your body feels as you think about the prompt.
It's about that mind-body connection, right?
Exactly. Sometimes those aha moments come when we're not even trying.
Like when you're in the shower or out for a run.
Totally. It's about getting out of our heads and into our bodies.
And you mentioned rituals earlier.
Yes, rituals can be powerful for letting go.
Because they give it a physical form.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
writing down everything you want to release on a piece of paper and then burning it.
Wow, that's intense.
Visualize those feelings, turning to smoke, disappearing,
I like that. Or you could gather objects that represent the relationship.
and release them into a river or bury them.
A symbolic burial of the past.
It's about actively engaging with the process, not just thinking about it.
And the beauty is, you can create your own rituals.
Ones that feel meaningful to you.
It's about finding what resonates with you on a deeper level.
And remember, all these techniques, they're just starting points.
It's up to you to make them your own.
To experiment, to play, to discover what works for you.
Because journaling should be enjoyable.
Empowering too. It's your space.
To explore, to heal, to grow, and ultimately to rediscover yourself.
So true. So go out there, listeners, and get creative with your journaling.
Honor your unique journey. Trust the process.
Yeah.
And see where it takes you. That's it for the deep dive into letting go.
Until next time.